Hey, it's Bob, and in this episode of Real Retail TV, I am going to revisit my very best habit. Several years ago, I did an episode of Real Retail TV called My Best Habit, and it was about my journaling habit. But I've changed several things since then, so I thought I would revisit this because journaling has been so important in my personal development, in my personal growth. So I've been doing this for a long time, so I thought I would share my practices with you so that hopefully you might give journaling a shot. So I decided to pull out all of my journals because I keep them all. And Jim Rohn, the late great Jim Rohn, once said, "A life worth living is a life worth recording." And when I heard that, I started it. I started to journal. And Jim Rohn called his journaling morning papers. And I have my very first journal entry right here. And it's from August 3rd, 1997. And it said, "This is my first morning papers. I think I will give it a try for at least a week to see how it works." So here it is 25 years later. At least a week turned into 25 years later. And some of you might get a kick out of this sentence. It is very weird writing in cursive. It has been years since I write, since I've written in cursive. I write in regular style when I write in my planner or make notes. So this is actually written in cursive. So I've been doing this a long, long time. And so here's the best practices that I have developed. First of all, anytime, anywhere, anything that is of value. So I pull out my journal and I write it down. You might see that there are a couple of sort of oddballs, and the rest of them are all the same notebook. That was because many, many years ago, Joe, Sam, and Susan gave me this beautiful Mont Blanc folio for Father's Day. So this is what I carry with me all the time. So anytime, anywhere, something strikes me, something wise, something smart, something interesting, it goes in my journal. I don't want to forget it. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is I journal every morning. I might have missed a dozen days in the last 25 years. And my morning journaling consists of two essential parts. One is gratitude. I always want to start my day with gratitude, and I recommend that you do too. It just really starts the day right when you start to think about all of the things that you've been given, all of the things that you have, all of the blessings that have come your way. So there's always gratitude. There's random thoughts, as always, but the second part is wanting. So Dan Sullivan wrote a book, Wanting What You Want. And in that book, he contends, and I agree, that you should never have any stipulations around the things that you want. If you want it, you want it. You don't have to justify it to your spouse, to your friends, to your neighbors, to anyone. Want what you want. And so now every day I write down what I want. Something that's interesting to me, if life is going well, I want big picture things. If life is busy and stressful, I want to solve those problems, to get those things done. But just the process of writing down every day, wanting what I want, in and of itself is super, super interesting. The second thing that I do is I journal every night. Now, I'll miss more nights than I miss mornings, but pretty much every single night. And what I do when I journal at night, I do it in bed, is I reflect on the day. And I also look for the wins. You see, as entrepreneurs, our brains tend to get fixated on all of the stuff that isn't happening, on all of the things that aren't getting done, of all of the problems that you have in your business. And when I started doing this habit, finding and writing down the wins every single day, it really allowed my brain to let go of our business when I went to sleep. So do you see what I've done here? What's happening is I am bookending, or I am beginning and ending my day with good stuff. You know, I'm trying to train my brain to see the positive, train my brain to see accomplishments, train my brain to be grateful. And by training my brain to do these things, I have found I have a much better life because of it. And I want you to have a better life. Now, the final thing that I wanted to really talk about, and this has been very, very important, and it wasn't covered in that first episode of Real Retail TV. And that is this idea that every time I finish a journal, I go back and I reread the journal. This has been really important for me. Really what I'm doing is I'm taking the opportunity to relive my life. So I'm living it twice, once when I did it and once when I'm reviewing it. And what I started to do is take notes. I would star things that were important. This isn't one. Let me see if I can find one here. Yeah, you can see I have all kinds of pages that are turned down. So what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm reliving the best moments of my life, and I am also relearning the lessons that I learned during that last period. And I have just found this a really, really valuable part of the process. Not just the journaling, but the journaling and then coming back to it. So your success is incredibly important to me. Your well-being is incredibly important to me. And while here at Whiz Bang Retail Training, we work really hard to give you the tools you need to run successful businesses, what I have found from being an entrepreneur for over 40 years is that managing your state, managing your life, managing and creating, being proactively good, being in a good space is part of being a good entrepreneur. So I hope that my 25-year habit is something that is interesting enough that you choose to give it a try. It's been incredibly valuable to me. I hope you'll give it a try, because I believe if you give it more than a week, it will be incredibly valuable to you. So if you have any questions about my journaling habit, or if you have a journaling habit and you would love to comment or share your best journaling practices, please put them in the comments below. I would love to see them.